Hello and welcome back to Punisher's Paintball, guys. Thank you for stopping by and watching this awesome loader comparison we're about to do between the Virtue Spire 5, their new flagship loader, and the JT Triad. Joel, when's the last time we saw a loader really from GI? Was it the level?
It's been 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and I haven't seen the level for a while because a lot of people kind of hated that thing. So we're going to go toe-to-toe and kind of compare these bad boys and see what's really worth it and which is more worth your money. But in the event that you guys do actually like watching this video, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and when you're done watching it, if you think you've made your mind up on which one you want to buy, use the links in the description.
I'm so free.
Alright guys, so here we are. I've got the JT Triad, which is the JT's new paintball loader. Actually hasn't even been released yet. They sent this one to us ahead of time so that we could do some testing with it and some social media and all that jazz with it. So far, very impressed. And then Doug, you've got the Spire 5. Great.
Old reliable.
Old reliable. Everybody knows the Spire 5 is one of the best in the game. So we're here to do a comparison video. Price point on the JT Triad is going to come in at $100 less than the Spire 5. So we're looking at $149.95 as compared to $250 for, so $150 or $250. Mm-hmm. With that said, you know, like, that's a pretty big price difference.
That is.
And we're here to talk about, like, is there extra value to the Spire 5 as compared to the JT Triad, or, you know, is the JT Triad now a new competitor within the loader game?
Is that the new heavy swinger? So where should we start this comparison as far as features?
Well, I'll just talk about the Triad real quick, and then I'll let you talk about the Spire 5.
Sure.
So far I've been using this thing for a few days, guys. It seems to be working really well. Ball capacity is going to be 215.
This is going to be 220.
220, so we're right in the same ball capacity. As you guys can tell, there's a significant size difference between the two. This is definitely a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm. Oh, a lot of it.
So,
here, wait, I'll go above.
Yeah.
And then as far as width, though, this is this is a fatter boy, and that's going to be a skinnier boy. So that's kind of really where the difference lies. Like capacity overall, kind of the same, but yeah, you're going to have a tougher time seeing around this thing than you will the Triad.
Colors on this is basically just going to be the speed feed portion. The majority of the loader is still going to be black, no matter what color you choose. Right now we've got the blue. Doug, you've got the red, and
I've got the red, and the colors on
different.
these are way more prominent. The color is like the first and almost only thing you notice. However, there is a pretty sweet blue on the inside of all of them, because that's going to be the same across the board for all the Spire 5s.
And we can do part swaps on that too. So like if you like black with an accent color,
yep,
you know, that's a potential
different windows or a different speed feed, or you can do a black top, red bottom.
Yep. Other than that, really, there's just a power button with the JT Triad. There's an LED light. Doug, yours is pretty similar.
I no longer have an LED, but you can kind of see it actually lighting up underneath, at least on the red one. You can kind of see the underbelly there. Mm-hmm. But still same thing, just one power button, and there is no more button underneath to unjam or get into any kind of programming mode. So they have taken that away.
As far as taking apart the JT Triad, it's just going to be that little yellow button right there. You're actually going to push down on that yellow button, and then there is a tab right here that you push, and it just kind of pops and slides forward. There's like a tab in the front of the loader. Very, very simple, very, very intuitive to take it apart. It doesn't take me more than 2 seconds. Now, Doug,
so
yours is probably the easiest.
I have a single locking button, so I push this in, push it up, and then, push it in, push it down, and then open the loader, and it doesn't actually come apart. It's just on a hinge system. So if you lose this, you've done something massively wrong. And then
whereas, like, it is a potential that you could potentially lose that.
You could pitch that. As I've said before, if you are, these products are getting better the more that they get developed. That you shouldn't really be having that happen. If you do have that happen, send me your fail videos, and we can maybe set you up with some resources to work on your diving. But as far as taking the trays out of these things,
I feel a roast coming on.
I didn't catch that one dive, but I do have your little retreat in the snake that I should drop in here.
Drop it in.
Oh, shit! But I'll take out the trays here. So I have one easy little thumb tab, and then it just pulls forward, and it's right out. Joel
Before we get too far, can we talk about speed feeds real quick? I forgot to talk about speed feeds.
Absolutely not. It's unacceptable.
All right, fine. So the speed feed, both are going to come with the speed feed as well as a rain lid. The rain lid on this is kind of like a weak excuse for a rain lid on the Triad. That's my number one complaint with it, is that it's like this thin piece that just kind of goes over the speed feed, and you've got like flimsy or rubber fingers. with this, but I like the size of this. The size of the actual, like, orifice right there is big as compared to, I said orifice.
Tell me you work in a hospital. Tell me your day job is working in a hospital.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Anyway, so for the Spire Plus, I would actually argue that the openings are relatively similar in size. You do get a little more surface area with that, but I think one of the big differences is that stock out of the gate, first thing you buy, the fins on that are a soft rubber. You don't have to worry about it being abusive on your paint. If you get shot in the loader, you don't have to worry about replacing a fin. Here, it's still these acrylic ones. Now, you can buy the SFR, which is the speed feed rubber. So you can get that same feature with these crown ones, but that'll be another probably $50, right, for another one. So you're adding then $50 on top of something that's already $100 more than the other one. So, but both do have a nice speed feed, but I will say the rain lid for this is a lot more solid, and it's that same system with all the other Spire loaders where you just pinch this, pull it out real easy, toolless, and then pop the other one in.
And it's funny that you talk about that, Doug, because that was one thing I've noticed on this, that like I think this does kind of pop out, but it's not nearly as intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So, but granted, like how often are you going to have to do anything because the rain lid's built into
like that. You shouldn't really have to do that.
All right, so going back to the trays, guys. So we already went through disassembly. As far as the actual trays go, I've got my magnetic drive cone here. There's definitely a lot more slots, whereas Doug's got like
I have 4.
He has 4, and they're
like
soft
8.
rubber, whereas like this is actual plastic. I don't foresee that breaking paint at all, which is really nice.
Just a little more of a force feed.
Magnetic or a spring ramp on both of them. They're both about the similar size. They're both about the similar spring tension.
Jill, you know what I'm actually seeing here too? This looks like there's a magnet underneath this to help push it back up.
Oh, really?
Look at that. Now there's definitely obviously springs in here as well, but
yeah.
They're using a little bit of magnet assistance as well. But I will say the ramp on that is a little more forceful than the Spire 5 ramp. The feeding in general is going to be more forceful than the Spire 5. But toollessly disassembling, that's about as far as you can get with that thing. Whereas with the Spire 5, all I have to do, disconnect this one wire, and then I can pull this thing completely apart very easily, clean my raceway, like really get in there and wipe that down really good. However, I also can't really throw any parts of this in the dishwasher, which not that I've ever done it, but I've heard of enough people doing it that it's worth mentioning. Yeah. So you can do that with the shell, but not with the ramp.
And you can also do that with the shell of the Triad, because the Triad only has a couple magnets in there.
Yep.
Everything else electronic and everything else as far as like motors and all that stuff is going to be in the tray for both of these, which is really nice.
Yep.
The other thing too is you've got like a lever in the front here that clicks in and out of place, whereas mine's magnetic, so there's like a little lip right here that goes in the rear of the loader, and then it just pops into place.
Kind of gently clicks in.
Yeah. So that's very similar to like the control loader.
Whereas this goes
Keens.
Forward, nose first, and then you push the back down.
Place. Yeah.
It's funny how same but different a lot of these features are.
Yeah. I actually like the magnetic.
Yeah.
I like this more, and the fact that there's a slot for your finger, so you literally just go in there, and boom, there's your tray. Here's your shell, right? And then everything's right here.
Right.
So
super easy.
So very, very similar.
Oh, 100%. And that's both AA battery operated. Both are both sound and eye operated. So both have redundancy built into them in the event that one of your mechanisms kind of goes down.
That goes by vibration.
Sorry, yes. It's the...
It goes by...
What's the word? The
accelerometer. Yeah. So this goes by sound and by eyes. That goes by vibration and by eyes.
By feeling your gun cycle, which...
But the reason why you're paying more for the Spire 5 as compared to the IR2 is because the IR2 you only get eyes.
Only has the eyes.
You get both sensors. Now you got the JT Triad that has the spring ramp, the speed feed, and both 2 different sensing modes.
For the price of a Spire IR2 with a speed feed.
With a speed feed and with a spring ramp. So, Doug,
value-wise?
let's weigh in.
Let's
weigh in real quick before we get into that.
The only super-duper selling point. And as you guys witnessed, these both do have batteries.
Switching this over to pounds. All right, guys. 1 pound, 4.1 ounces.
For the Spire 5.
1 pound, 2.5 ounces.
So, saving about 2 ounces or so.
So that's something that you had mentioned in the overview video of this. Is
when
that
I first picked it up,
bothered you about the weight. I don't think it does. I think that, like, it's only 2 ounces heavier than Spire 5.
You know what it is, Joel? It's that it's back heavy. All the weight is in the back of this thing. Whereas in the Spire 5, it's a little more balanced throughout it, a little bit. Not Because if you put them both down, they're both going to lean backward onto themselves.
Yeah.
So that's just going to happen anyway, but it's a little, what weight that there is and what extra weight that there is all in the butt of that loader. But that's not a huge difference by only 2 ounces.
All right. So, Doug.
Dude, I'm going to have to, like, as much as I'm a Spire stan.
I know you are a Spire.
Spire's like... Oh, also, hold on. Can we bring this up for a second? See how we can't get this really to sit fully on this? No, I think this is going to be significant at some point. We know that paint is getting smaller, and I think JT is trying to get ahead of that by actually creating the whole raceway and the whole pathway for the ball to be smaller and just fit more snug, right? Because we can barely get this thing on, but as you'll see, same one, because I had to really get effort to get that off. Spire 5, just nothing. So...
What Doug's trying to say is it's a little bit bigger. About like a couple 100,000 of an inch.
I'm saying that this hole is a little bit smaller, and I don't know if that's going to play out to be a positive or a negative. Regardless, I really like this, and I think for the difference of $100, it's worth it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think the other thing that you got to consider is rates of fire.
Yeah, we'll offer higher rate of fire.
Spire 5 is, I've seen the Spire 5 do roughly about 15 balls a second.
I think it's capping out
this
at like
averages 15 balls a second, and I've seen it peak up to 18. So obviously we're going to be doing a testing video on that. But with that said, like, this is also going to be appealing to the mech players.
Yep.
Because it's got higher rates of fire. I've already seen one of the professional, I think it was Adrenaline, one of the professional mech teams already go to this from some other loader.
They've just decided to commit to it.
Yeah, they committed to it, and they did a couple videos with it, shooting like super fast, like probably 18 balls a second. 20 balls
we should
a second.
do for a fun video. We should get another DSR Plus with that mech frame that I can rip really fast and put that on.
Oh shit! Keeping up with Doug. So, all right, guys. So there it is. That's a comparison between the JT Triad and the Spire 5. Hope that you guys enjoyed this. But definitely, like, for the value, I'm actually going to go try it.
Yeah, I'm going to go try it as well.
First time that I've seen a loader that I really like enough to beat the Spire platform of loaders.
Same. This is the first time I've chosen a loader over a Spire, so you guys should feel pretty special about this. But if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Definitely drop an actual like on the video. Let us know if you have either one of these. And yeah, whenever you decide which one you want to get, use the link in the description to get either one, and we'll catch you in the next one.
I'm so free.